ladies and gentlemen, I am Aston Sean Lukisari Kimawan, and today I will be your reporter for this news. And no, this isn't your regular weather report news unless you consider a storm of illegal drugs and FBI raids as partly cloudy with the chance of prison time. Now I will be your guide into one of America's most shocking cybercrime stories in the world. We're diving deep, and I mean like Mariana Trench deep into the story of Silk Road, which is one of the dark web's most notorious marketplace in the global entire world. You see, in the early 2000s, the online drug trade was a chaotic mess. Buyers had to navigate shady forums where undercover agents lurked behind every username. As a result, payments left paper trails behind. Through PayPal and other bank transfer, packages were also intercepted regularly, and it was a high-risk game with no rules until one man decides to rewrite them all, which was Ross Ulbricht. He named Silk Road, which was a reference to the ancient trade routes that connected to China to Europe beginning in the 2nd century BC. Ulbricht hoped to create his own modern-day marketplace, except his would sell hardcore drugs and other illegal goods. That's right, I said it myself. Enter Ross Ulbricht, a 26-year-old graduate physics, with a dangerous idea. Unlike street dealers, Ulbricht saw himself as a libertarian revolutionary. He was a fan and follower of libertarian economist Ludwig von Mises, who opposed government interference with the economy. When then presidential candidate Mitt Romney in America asked, "What is America's greatest challenge?" Ulbricht responded like this in his own YouTube channel.
Hi Mitt, thanks for asking for our opinion. There are many challenges, as you know, but I think the most important thing is getting us out of the United Nations.
Ulbricht wanted to create a world free from institutional and government control. This mindset led him to create Silk Road back then on January 2011. You could not type in a regular web address to get to Silk Road. You needed software called Tor that works as a web browser. Tor was developed by the US Navy as a way of communicating privately over the internet. It conceals the real IP address of computers on the network to hide the identity of the user, and it cannot be traced by the government. To hide his identity, he adopted the alias of Dread Pirate Roberts, inspired by the fictional character from the Princess Bride film, but the real game changer was Bitcoin. By making it the sole payment method, Ulbricht ensured transactions were nearly impossible to trace, evading government oversight. This wasn't just a website, it was a crafted criminal empire, and Ulbricht knew the risk. He was playing a high-stakes game that could land him in prison for life. Everything changed in June 2011, when a news article exposed Silk Road all around the world. Overnight, thousands of new users flooded the site into a marketplace, into a dark web phenomenon. Ulbricht actively promoted it, inviting users to join, inviting them all, where he called a secure marketplace. The platform quickly expanded beyond soft drugs to include heroin, cocaine, and other hard substances. Vendors got creative, shipping their products in cleverly disguised packaging hidden inside books, electronics, or even stuffed toys, all through a regular email, and also official offline mails. By 2012, Silk Road operated with shocking efficiency, like a dark web Amazon. Vendors maintained 5 stars rating, buyers left detailed feedback, and the entire system ran smoothly. Ulbricht acted as the site's strict administrator. At its height, Silk Road had over 13,000 product listings and facilitated more than $1 billion drug sales. And now the stunning downfall. Here's how the mighty fell. The courtroom revelation shocked everyone. Prosecutors display Ulbricht's journals where he proudly wrote, "I am creating a revolution." Completely blind to the deaths and destruction his site caused all across America. $730,000 in Bitcoin payments for what he believed were 6 murders, although those are FBI setups. When investigators traced $13.4 million directly to Ulbricht's wallet, his defense crumbled. Even more staggering, they discovered an additional 70,000 Bitcoin in his possession, which is worth over $4.7 billion today. Ross Ulbricht was caught in a dramatic FBI sting at the San Francisco library in 2013. Undercover agents pretending to be a librarian and a bystander snatched his laptop while it was still open, logged directly into Silk Road's admin account as Dread Pirate Roberts. His arrest came after using his personal emails, poor Bitcoin secrecy, and even early online posts. On May 29, 2015, the judge sentenced him to double life plus 40 years, calling him the kingpin of a digital drug cartel. Ulbricht lost everything: his freedom, his revolution, and his unimaginable fortune. But the ultimate twist? The FBI auction has seized Bitcoin for $48 million and used that money to fund the very task forces that hunt dark web criminals today. Dark web may still exist, but so do those who are committed to shutting it down. From now on, in fact, dark webs are much more stricken by the global technology controlled with the government. So, be aware, folks.
This story isn't just about crime. It's about a spiritual warning. Ross Ulbricht's downfall proves Proverbs 16 verse 18. He uses God-given talents to rebel, calling evil freedom, just like Satan's old lie in Genesis 3 verse 5. But true freedom, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. 2 Corinthians 3 verse 17. This story convicts me. If Ulbricht's skill built an empire of death, what am I building? Psalm 90 verse 12 says, "Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom." So, I refuse to misuse my gifts for harm or cause sin progress. Instead, I'll use my passions to serve others like what Jesus commanded. Freely you have received, freely give. Matthew 10 verse 8. Now I am asking you, will you join me? If Ulbricht's coding spread darkness, let's code apps that share the gospel. If Bitcoin funded addiction, let's fund rehab ministries. Where the world hides in shadows, let's go be the light.